All right, welcome back to the episode of the Fan Connection podcast. For those of you who are watching, you can tell that Bird and I are dressed the same, sitting the same, and everything the same as the last episode because we are literally recording it right after the last one.
We should have
I'm
moved some stuff around.
We
Should have
should
done
have,
that,
but it's
right?
or changed shirts or something.
That's done
But
now.
it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm in exams right now, and I have a bunch of projects due. I'm in my second summer semester where I'm taking two intense classes, 6.5 weeks long, where I have a midterm. One of them has two midterms, a final. Each of them having a final, each of them having a group project. It's been a lot of work so far, and a lot more coming. So it's been very busy. So hopefully we'll return to a bit more normalcy and a bit more schedule like come the fall or late summer. But for now, you get what you get, and we're gonna open up with another joke because I'm using these little joke sheets as my timestamps in a way. So this joke is: I dreamt I was swimming in an ocean made of orange soda. It took me a minute to realize it was just a fantasy.
Okay. All right.
These jokes are so bad. I love it
Oh
though.
boy.
I hope I didn't turn anyone away from the podcast, but if I did, I
Yeah.
apologize. If your ears are bleeding right now, I also apologize. But to quickly start off, the Buffalo Sabres re-signed Victor Olofsson to a 2-year deal worth $4.75 million per season. Other than that, Buffalo's been fairly quiet. I think Malcolm Subban re-signed as well. How's it going, Air Snags? But Berta, Buffalo, what do you think of them going into the next season? They're going to be kind of just a middle of the pack team that shows some slight improvement.
So with Buffalo, okay, I actually think they're gonna have a decent season. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but I think they'll be a lot better than they're known for, right? I think that Owen Power is gonna have a full season there. He's gonna have a good year for sure. Darlene, he's still very good. Hopefully he gets better, improves his ceiling a little bit. Their goaltending is really tough for me. I think that's what's gonna let them down. But they did bring in Bishop. I guess I don't even know if he's gonna play. I don't know if that's like an LTI move or not. But yeah, no, I think Tage Thompson's good. I think
Yep.
Olsen is he's a good sniper as well. Like he can definitely score on the power play. I think Alex Tuck is very good. Um, but they're still like they have a pretty big hole in like their number one center type thing, right? Like I don't know where they're gonna get that from. I don't know if they've drafted well enough for that yet. I know they wanted Casey Middlestat to be one of those guys, but I don't think he is that. So I think they're like in short, they're just gonna be a middle, like you said, like a middle of the pack kind of team. They'll be better and more competitive than usual, but they're not gonna make the playoffs.
I mean,
Mike?
yeah, that's
Oh,
fair.
okay.
I don't. Sorry, I was muted there.
Oh,
I tried to click the unmute button and I missed. So
oh,
my bad.
nice. Yeah.
But no, I don't see Buffalo as making the playoffs either. Just I'm sorry, just the way the Atlantic is kind of stacked up. You're not going to get the free wins against Detroit. You're not going to get the free wins against Ottawa anymore. Montreal, yeah, you're probably you're probably going to get the free win because we're not that great, to be honest with you. Um, but I don't see Buffalo making the playoffs. I'm sorry to Buffalo Sabres fans. I honestly would be happily surprised if they do because that'd be a great step for I almost said Rasmus Sandin, but Rasmus Dahlin. Be a great step for Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, Peyton Krebs. Like they have a lot of good people in place. They just need to finish building out the team. So Owen Power coming
Yeah.
in, that's a huge help. But their goaltending is still lacking to me. I love me some Craig Anderson. I wish he was a backup goalie. That's my only flaw.
Yeah. Well, they
So
did draft. Yeah.
Luukkonen,
Um.
like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and
Yeah.
who else? One other guy, right? It was Sebastian
For
Cossa. They got
goaltending.
they got Cossa, right?
For goaltending or
Yeah,
yeah. They got the guy you said. I can't find the other guy that you're talking about.
I thought it was Cossa.
Casa.
Didn't they
I
get him
only
in a
say Luke.
trade?
I only
Who
see
did he
that
get
Uka
traded to?
guy. That's the only
Yeah.
guy I see.
Does
Yeah.
anybody know where Sebastian Cossa got traded to? Because wasn't he a Florida prospect and he got traded somewhere?
I'm
And
not
everyone's like, "Oh,
sure.
this guy's a stud." So let me know.
I gotta correct myself though. So I actually completely forgot, but they did draft Matthew Savoy, and they did draft Noah Ostland.
Yep.
And those are two guys that can potentially panel to be like. I don't think they'll be number one center, but they can definitely be like strong guys down the middle. So that is a few years down the road, right? Like they're not gonna be good right now.
Yeah, they still need some time. They still need some
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So moving on, the Devils. They signed Andre Palat to a 5, not Casa, Devin Levi. It was Devin Levi. Thank you. I don't know why I thought it was Sebastian Casa. It was Devin Levi. That's another good goaltending prospect. So, maybe if Devin Levi steps up or Luukkonen steps up this year and then Levi takes over the AHL, that could be a pretty good step here. Air Snack says, lazy guy or Mike for me, can you give me a run over of who Montreal have signed? Literally haven't seen any news on us signing anyone yet. So Montreal has not made any big name signings so far. I saw they signed Mitchell Stevens. They did some little re-signings as well with like AHL guys like Belzile. So just a few minor deals. I saw Schuneman got his deal 1 year, $750K. Slavkovsky, Massar got their entry-level deals. So just some minor deals there. Nate Schnarr got re-signed, I think, as well. Or maybe he got moved somewhere else. I'm not sure. But some minor deals for Montreal. Nothing to report on, honestly. Other than the Romanov trade, but I'm sure you've already seen that. So anyway, getting back to the Devils. They signed Palat, like I said, 5 years, $6 million per season. They obviously drafted Simon Nemec. They have, I don't know if Hughes' brother's going to come in this year.
I don't know if he is yet either, but I mean, he's still one of their better prospects.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't see them per se as a playoff team yet. Just my opinion. I see them as a good team. I see them as maybe missing the playoffs by 3 to 6 points.
Yeah, it'll be close.
I still see Carolina above them. I still see, no offense to Devils fans if you think I'm wrong for this, but I still see Penguins as above them, Capitals as above them, and the Rangers is above them.
I think so. I do think that they're going to be a fun team to watch because I really think Jack Hughes is going to be must-watch hockey, and he's going to have a really good year if he stays healthy throughout the whole year, and that's going to be like their selling point, I guess, right? And they're going to have a good, strong year, just like you said. I think they'll just miss by 3 to 6 points.
Yeah, a few points.
Yeah, because they are good, but they're just not there yet,
Exactly. That's exactly how I see it. Kev's saying they're a Mickey Mouse organization. Okay, I wouldn't go that far. Kev's a Leafs fan, just roasting on the Devils right now. How many first round exits have you guys had in recent memory? That's what I thought.
Okay.
So I hate to do that to you, Kev. It's just the Devils have won a cup much more recent than any of us have. Rangers. The Rangers signed some minor or backup goalies here, Halak and Domingue, to some small deals. But good for them, getting signed, obviously, making that money. And then Trocheck to a 7-year, $5.625 million deal. The way I see that is they lost Kopp, signed Trocheck.
I think the way I see it is they didn't want to give up too much in a trade for JT Miller. I think that's what they did. Because they do need an extra piece, I think. And they do need a center. And so they also lost what's his name down the middle?
Ryan Strome.
Strome, yeah, sorry. Yeah, they lost Strome. So I think that's what their compensation is, because most of the teams are especially the Canucks, they want a guy that's very good defensively. So a prospect like Braden Schneider, and they just didn't want to give up one of those guys, because when you look at it from their standpoint, you have Fox, Truba, Lindgren, Keandre Miller, and Braden Schneider as your top 5, and you're gonna probably have them all long term. And that's one of the better. That will end up being one of the better defensive cores, right, in the league. At least that's what I think. So if you're them, I mean, I understand what they're doing. They think they have some good star talent. Anyway, if Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider, it's a lot of scoring, and Trocheck's a very good center too. So I think it's a very good signing for them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And speaking of Ryan Strome, I just realized we don't even have him listed here for our talking points, but he signed in Anaheim for a 5-year, I believe, $5 million deal.
Yeah.
Not a bad deal, honestly. I like that for them.
Solid deal for them.
Shelters Zegras a bit more too. So Anaheim, honestly, making some decent progress on their team. I think losing Hampus Lindholm last year kind of slowed them down in their rebuild, because that's a top 2 defenseman. But Anaheim making some progress here, going a bit younger, but getting a guy that can come in not too old. He's like 29, I think, 30 for Ryan Strome. Maybe even younger, like 28.
No, Strome is 29. You're right.
29, yeah. So he's not too old. He's just past his prime, around his prime. Yeah. Bring him in, shelter the rookies, and that's not too bad. It's not that they're trying to win, Kev. It's more
I don't think they're trying to win.
They're just trying to be a slightly more competitive team, more entertaining team, right?
Yeah, because like even like next year, dude, they like right now they have 16 players on their roster,
Yeah.
and like next year they have 8. So they have a lot of work to do as to like what their future is. Like I know they're gonna build through Zegras, they're gonna build through like Troy Terry, right?
Yep.
And yeah, that's like but they they still gotta draft pretty well. Like next year, this upcoming year, they have what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks in the first 3 rounds. So they're still very much rebuilding. They just got some guy, like you said, just to be a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, just to keep people in the seats, just
Yeah.
and it's one of those things. You bring in the guy for a few years, he probably just sticks around, has fun. Like Anaheim's a nice city to live in. It's nice weather. Like you just hang out in California. Yeah, it's California. Hang out in California,
Hmm.
and you get nice weather. Like, you don't have to worry about the winters that you have in New York. So I think Ryan Strom's is going to be perfectly happy living in California, playing in Anaheim, no matter what their scores are, and a lot less pressure on him as well. So I think what, Ryan Strome might play even better there. I know he doesn't have Panarin to help him, but maybe he'll get some really good points, and then in a few years they trade him at the deadline, or he's a complementary piece to their really young core that's on a cup contending team. That's just how
Yeah.
I see it. They're just putting the pieces in place, essentially. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning. I last episode, or well, earlier this stream, but last episode for those of you listening after the fact, I believe it was not Satisfied Jake, but Satisfied Bandit who asked the question who we thought would win the cup next year, and Bird and I both said, to everyone's dismay and even our dismay, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So the Tampa Bay Lightning find ways to just keep building a superstar team that just sticks together. And like I said, not this year. This year the cap's staying pretty much flat. But next year the cap is supposed to go up like 4 million. And then the year after that, even more, like another 3 mil, and then 3 mil, and then 3 mil. So
Is it something to do with the TV deal? Because I did hear
yeah,
something about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they made a
Okay.
lot of money this year. This is one of their best revenue seasons.
Okay.
So, like even predating COVID. So they did very well this year, especially with all. I mean, I think everyone noticed the betting ads, so they made a shit ton of money off those. But anyway, the point is, the Tampa Bay Lightning signed Vlad Nemestikov to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal out of free agency. You might recognize the name. Obviously, he was formerly on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think he was drafted by them, so they know who he is. They're familiar with him. He's familiar with them. They know what to get out of him. He's going to be a complimentary piece. And guess who did they just lose? That was a good, speedy, versatile complimentary piece that could play any role. Andre Palat. So to me, I see Vlad Nemesnikov as a stopgap for losing Palat. He kind of takes his role a little bit for them on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. And then at the deadline, they could move Nemesnikov to another team, have them retain salary on a guy who's better than Nemesnikov to replace Palat, and bam, the exact same team as last year, just with one different name in the lineup, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh my God, who would have thought? So that's one of their deals. I like that deal. I think he's very underrated too. And then Sergachev, 8 years, $8.5 million per season. Beautiful contract.
I don't think that's beautiful, man.
He's 24.
Yeah, but
he's
dude,
24.
He makes like $500K less than Makar.
Yeah, but Makar's about to make bank.
He already signed his contract.
Yeah, but it wasn't that long.
Yes, it is.
No.
It's like a very long-term deal.
No, isn't it? It wasn't.
Oh, no. He signed until 2027. I guess, okay, well, 5 years. Yeah, he makes $500K less than Makar, and he signed all the way till 2027.
Yeah, okay, that's fine though, because at the time Makar signed his contract.
It was just right now. He just signed
but Makar took a pay cut. That's not market value. Makar took below market value.
What about Werenski? Werenski makes less than Sergachev.
Yeah, but when did Werenski sign his deal?
That I don't know, man. That is
and
a lot of money,
look who Werenski's playing for too. Like it's different.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like, Columbus wasn't able to offer Werenski that money. They already offered it to Jones. Like it's what like
no, but the thing is like, with this contract, do you think that he's one of the top 10 defensemen in the league?
No, but they're not signing him to be that right now. They're signing him that contract because in 8 years, a guy like Sergachev is going to be worth way more than $8.5 million because the cap.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't. Okay, well, yeah, because the cap hit, sure. Yeah.
Okay, look up Sergachev's stats. Look up Sergachev's stats right now.
I know how good Sergachev is, but
Thank you.
like I
And the reason he's not even better is because he was playing such a small role because McDonough was stunting his growth. That's why they traded McDonough because they know Sergachev is going to take his place. It's no
okay,
longer
but
going to
he's still
be Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev. It's going to be Hedman, Sergachev, or Hedman, Sergachev, or Sergachev, Hedman, and whoever's playing better gets the higher ice time. The way I see it is, look, you
right,
needed to pay
but like, dude,
Sergachev. He's
he's still like,
24. Like,
yeah, but he scored 10 goals once in his career. Like that, like for paying someone that much, like 2 years ago he scored 4 goals. Last year he scored 7 goals, and
yeah.
he's like, like he's below half point per game. So
And
that is a lot. That is a lot of money to give
but he
up
wasn't
for
on the
him.
first power play. He wasn't like it. So to
Yeah,
me, the way I see Tampa Bay in that deal, I like
yeah.
that deal because they're locking him up long term. I know it's a little expensive for your taste. Like maybe 8 would have
Hmm.
been better. Like it would 8. Like what difference would that have made though in the long run, right? Like
No,
I'm
I
saying,
don't know, man. Yeah.
the cap is supposed to go up like 5 mil next year, not like this coming season, but
Hmm.
the one after,
Hmm.
and that already will make Sergachev's cap hit like that
But
would
then we
turn
gotta
this
look at
that
other.
would
We gotta
make
look at
this
other
deal
deals
into
then.
but that would make this deal into essentially like a 7 mil per season, right?
Right, but if we were like talking about the Ben Sherratt deal, then that would be like a 2 mil deal
Yeah,
then.
and that's probably why we're seeing so many high numbers right now. Like
And
we
get
keep
Branston's as well, like 4x4,
yeah.
because that like changes the way we like judge the things or judge the
No,
deals.
and maybe we have been judging it wrong because we're judging it on COVID
Maybe,
numbers.
maybe, yeah.
I think GMs are jumping the gun a bit. I do agree with you. Like good
Hmm.
Branson, I think they jumped the gun. Sherratt, they jumped the gun. Norris, I'd honestly argue they jumped the gun a bit on that one too. Like almost 8 million. That's a lot of money
Hmm.
for a guy
Well,
who
yeah.
had
I mean,
two
all.
good
So
seasons.
here's how I see it. All we can really, at least for me, all I can do right now is take it at face value until something does happen, like it does go up or
Yeah,
whatever.
sure.
Right? So that's how I'm judging it. And like right now, he's paid as like one of like I honestly think it's like a top 6 or 7 role as a defenseman. Like if you look at Roman Yoshi, like his deal, I know he signed it a little bit earlier.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
So
but
you can't
like
compare
oh
it to
wait,
those
no, he just signed
contracts.
his deal too, didn't he?
If he did it, it was like 10 million.
Yeah, it was 10. It was 9. It was just 9 million. So he paid
Okay.
500K more than Sergachev as well,
Yeah.
right? So
But I mean, if you're looking at the market right now, like that's market value because if Goodbranson's worth 4, Sergeyev's easily worth 8.5.
Hughes
Like
makes less than him.
Quinn Hughes does make less than him, but Quinn Hughes has a lot of detriments to his game that a lot of teams can exploit. Like I find Hughes, you just
That is not true. I'm not trying to be
if you
biased,
play Hughes
but
physically enough, I think you can dominate him. I think you can. If you have a
I don't
speedy
know.
team
His
that's
defensive
physical,
numbers are very good, man. They're
I
actually very
agree. I
good.
think he's a very good defenseman. I
Yeah.
think a team like Colorado though could find a way to bully him. I'm
Okay,
just saying.
yeah, but I would say that for
You just
Sergachev as
stick
well.
Nishushkin on him all
I don't think
night.
Sergachev is like a what's it called? Stand-up defenseman? I don't think he's that.
No,
Um,
I agree with you. Like Sergachev has still has to
yeah.
work on some things, but I think Sergachev's very
Mm.
underrated too, though. Like
Yeah, no, it's
he
fair.
at like
He was
20,
dude,
he was a really good defenseman in Montreal, and we just said
yeah.
see ya for Drouin, and it was just like
Yeah, that was a dumb deal. Like
oh,
he's the
100%.
yeah, he's definitely one of the I'll say like I'll agree like he's one of the better younger defensemen in the league. Like I can
Yeah,
say that,
he
but
has 90 something
I
games of playoff experience, 2 cups at 24. He he's worth the money. Like you're not only paying him for his potential, you're paying for his experience. He has 2 cups, 92 games of playoff experience. It's like
what
6, 7 seasons under his belt.
yeah, but that's like the entire team. They all have 3
No,
or two
I
cups.
know, but like they're paying market value for
Yeah,
Sergachev. That's all I'm saying.
I guess
And
yeah,
then
fair.
Cernak gets 8 year at 5.2. That's a lot of money too. Sorelli
Yeah.
gets 8 years, 6.25. That one I like a lot actually. Sorelli's deal is good.
Sorelli's is good. Yeah, Sorelli's is really
So
good.
now they have their 3 centers locked up. They have Stamkos, Point,
Hmm.
Sorelli, and you can play Stamkos on the wing if you want. As he's getting older, you can. So
Yeah, I think
like
he's good down the wing
yeah,
anyway. He
so,
plays like every position now, like all three
he
forward
plays it
positions.
wherever you need him. Stamkos
Yeah,
will play. I love that about him.
yeah,
So honestly, Lightning finding a way to stay themselves. They'd already locked up their core of Kucherov, Stamkos, Hedman, Nemesnikov, not Nemesnikov. Oh my God, Vasilevsky, and Point, and then they locked up their
they
secondary
just
core:
signed.
Sergachev,
So there's another
Cernak,
signing,
Sorelli.
but it's not that big of a deal. It's
Who'd they sign?
I thought it was Tampa, but it's Toronto. They signed Yarncrow for 4 years, 2.1 mil.
Why?
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
Do you want to talk about Toronto fast then? I was very underwhelmed
Yeah,
by
we can talk
Toronto.
about Toronto. Yeah.
North, I think North is in here talking about Toronto too. So
Yeah.
I actually like the Matt Murray trade.
Mm.
I know a lot of people hate it. I actually like it. He wasn't that bad last year.
He was all right.
Even the games he got pulled, I'd be watching the game. I'm like, okay, he made a nice cross crease save, saved the rebound, third rebound goes in. I'm like, all right, well, what do you want him to do about that one? And then they come down the ice again. He makes a nice first save. And
Yeah.
then the puck stays in the end for like 3 minutes, and then they eventually get a cross crease one timer goal. And I'm like, hey, what's he realistically supposed to do about that? And then he gets pulled, and I'm like, but that's not his fault. So everyone talking about like him being pulled a lot, like that's just DJ Smith trying to wake up his team and get them going. It's not necessarily a take on how bad Matt Murray was. His numbers weren't great. He had a stretch.
Okay, so,
he had a stretch where he had a 941. That much I know. I thought, and then he got a concussion again and got injured and he was out. So if he can get his health in check for his injuries, I already know he had a really bad relationship with the front office. That's been going around for a while. Like him and Ottawa, they did not get along at all. So in Toronto, it should be a better fit at least. So he won't be disgruntled. He won't be injured, hopefully. So if you just kind of play him and they also signed Samsonov. If you play him and Samsonov as kind of like a tandem, whoever's hotter gets the starts, I'm fine with that. Honestly, I'm almost more comfortable than Campbell and Mrazek. Because Mrazek was a non-option. And then you had to throw in, what was his name? The kid they brought in there from Europe.
Sure, for Toronto?
Yeah, their third string. Yeah, Shelgren. Like,
or Shelgren, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because Mrazek was a non-starter, so you needed Shelgren.
Yeah.
And then Campbell got injured, and Mrazek was a non-option, so you had Shelgren playing. And I was like, I would take Campbell and Samsonov and Murray over, and technically Shelgren over Shelgren, Mrazek, Campbell. I like Campbell, but dude was so bad except for 1 month. Okay, you say that now, but like Sportsnet was hyping this guy up for the whole season.
Yeah, I don't want to hear any. I was saying this all year long, and I just Okay, I'm gonna give my quick points on it, so we don't talk about it too much. But with Murray, I agree with you to an extent. I think like he is not as bad as people think he is. I think the reason why he was a little bit better is because he actually changed the way the goalies play now are a little bit different from when he won his cups, which is so weird to think because it's not even too long ago. Yeah. But so he's changing his style, and I've heard that a lot from goalie coaches, that he's been changing his style and he's getting used to it, and he's on the turnaround. So he can definitely turn into maybe a better goalie next year, and he's definitely better supported, a better decor over here in Toronto. So I can see him having a better year. That being said, I know you guys are saying this about Campbell, but I think it's not even that much of a downgrade or upgrade on Campball. And Samsonov, I'm not high on. You know, it's like it's just fine. Like, I don't think it's not. I'd rather not overreact on this because it's like, okay, what were they gonna do? They're either gonna get Kemper, who's just making about maybe like 800K more than Murray, or
who also has tons of injury issues. Let's be honest.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, it's fine. Like what they did, we'll see how it works out. I don't think it's something that made them better, but I don't think it's something that definitely made them worse. You know?
Yep.
So
no, that's a fair take. You know what? I agree with that. That's a very fair take, and we'll see. Like, no one can know what happens. My prediction. I want to make a bold prediction. Actually, I've been thinking about this for a few days now, and it keeps coming back into my mind. I'm going to make a prediction for next year's playoffs. This is so stupid because it's definitely not going to happen, but I'm going to wishful thinking here. Ottawa, Toronto, first round. Ottawa, Toronto, first round. Matt Murray leads Toronto to victory in 6 games. Calling it right now. Calling it right now. That'd be hilarious. That's my prediction for next year's playoffs. Toronto in 6 over Ottawa. Matt Murray, the starter.
Can we talk about Ottawa then? Because
I was gonna transition to Ottawa here. I have the deals here. Norris, 8 years, $7.95 million per season. Huge money for a guy that put up 2 pretty good seasons. I like it. They're paying for the potential, I guess. It is a high risk though. And Giroux, 3 years, 6.5 on top of the trade we already talked about, as well as Connor Brown going to Washington for a second.
Yeah. Well, I actually do like the Josh Norris deal a lot. Like he's definitely shown in the last 2 years he can score quite a
Yep.
bit. So
Yep.
that's fine. And they're able to make it work under the cap, right? So like they still have 11 million space left. They got Tkachuk signed already. You have Norris signed. Now you have Giroux. Adding to Brinkett, that is insane. We already talked about the Brinkett trade and saying how the core is great, but now you added Giroux on top of it, a pretty good
Yeah.
deal,
Yeah.
right? 6.5 is a very good deal. And you still got you got Batherson signed already. You got Shabbat signed long term. They brought in Talbot, which Talbot's like okay. You know,
It's
I'm not.
it's
Yeah,
Talbot and oh fudge.
Forsberg.
Forsberg, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good tandem. I like
yeah,
that.
it's all right. I think their main thing now is just fixing their defense if they can, like having Zaitsev, Hamonic, and Zub and Holden as your
So
defenseman is not great. Like Shabbat's good, but
hear
yeah,
me
other than
out.
that.
What
Hmm.
if Ottawa calls up my boy Kent Hughes and says, hey Hughes, we could really use a guy to play alongside Thomas Shabbat.
Nah, maybe. Who knows?
What if we send you Zaitsev or Hamonic to make the money work, just so that Ottawa doesn't take on the full Petrie contract without getting some money out? What if we throw you back Brandstrom? Because from what I've gathered, from what I've seen, from what I've read, from what I've heard from all the insiders and everyone around the hockey world, DJ Smith, the coach in Ottawa, does not seem too sold on Eric Brandstrom. I know he's one of the main pieces of the Karlsson trade, but with Norris getting signed, the Stone trade. But with Norris getting signed, that's one of the deals from Karlsson, so that's already looking good for that era. And with seems like Pierre Dorion now has the green light to do whatever he wants, which is kind of crazy because now we're seeing the real Pierre Dorion right now. This is what Pierre Dorion would have wanted to do years ago, I'm sure. Like just green light a bunch of moves, just move a bunch of shit around and make things happen. But I think there's a lot of things he didn't get the green light on.
For
So
sure.
to me, what if Ottawa says, "Hey, Kent Hughes, we're not too sold on this Brandstrom guy. Maybe you can make him work in your system. I don't know. We bring in Jeff. We give them Jeff Petrie, or maybe we get like a first round pick or maybe their second round pick back. So maybe like Hamonic and 2 seconds for Jeff Petrie. Ottawa then has Thomas Chabot, Jeff Petrie. They have Jake Sanderson. They have Hamonic. They have Zaitsev. They have Zub. And they'd still maybe have Brandstrom if that deal I said there goes through. So that would be a much better D core than what we see right now. Because I don't want them to rely too much on Jake Sanderson. I think they need to give him at least some sheltered ice time. I know they have other prospects like Bernard Docker coming up as well. Some other good prospects there. So maybe they'll step in and take a big top 4 role that none of us saw coming. And then Ottawa's defense is fixed and it's back to the Wade Reddins, the Daniel Chara, Ottawa Senators era where they're just dominating everybody. So people forget, man. People forget Ottawa had a pretty stud-like team at one point.
Yeah, they're gonna have another one too now.
So yeah, like Ottawa, like I still don't think they're fully ready to take that next step to be a contender, but I do think they're gonna at least compete for a playoff spot. And like I said, I think they'll make the first round. I think they'll lose to Toronto in 6 to Matt Murray, taking the wheel. But bold prediction. But I mean, Ottawa. Honestly, I like the moves. I never thought I'd say this, but
I think they won the offseason so far, in my opinion. I think they with the DeBrincat trade, the signing of Giroux, and the other signings they made, like the re-signs. I mean, yeah.
I mean, if Montreal pulls off a solid Petrie trade, I'd say Montreal's up there, and they already kind of are up there. But I'd say Ottawa
For the offseason?
Yeah, Montreal definitely did pretty well. I'd say they moved the Weber contract.
The rebuild, I guess.
Yeah, they moved the Weber contract. They draft Slavkovsky. They drafted honestly a few people that could be seen as steals. They move out Romanov to get Kirby Dach, which is what they really needed. Another.
I think they won the draft.
They definitely. That's what I'm saying. Like, so if Montreal pulls off a Petrie trade this offseason, that'd be like them being one of the better offseason teams. Is what I'm saying. Like, they pulled off a lot of good moves.
For the direction they're going.
But
right.
I think Ottawa is. I agree with you. One of the best, if not the best, team that like in terms of what they did this offseason. So it's easier for bad teams to do well in the offseason. Okay. Not as much as you think, because then you'd be saying Arizona killed the offseason, you'd be saying Flyers killed the offseason, but honestly, let's move on to the Flyers here. I don't know what the fuck is going on in Philadelphia. What's in the water? It's called Chuck Fletcher. It's called Chuck
Oh
Fletcher's your
boy,
GM, and he's lost. Okay, so the Flyers signed Delorier to a four. I don't mind the cap hit. Okay, 1.75 for
that's
Delorier.
fine.
He
Yeah.
can score goals. He can put in 10 goals, 15 goals if you're lucky, 15, but around 10, 8, 9, 10 goals. He's good for that. He's 31 years old. 4 years, man. 4 years for a 31-year-old who's. I'm sorry, he plays a very physical game. Like this guy could break down at any moment. Like you give him four
It's just
years.
yeah, but I
And
mean
then
it is a
Justin
small
Braun
cap
too.
hit, I guess. But
It's
yeah,
just like they bring in two more old guys to Philly,
yeah.
and they bring in two more older guys. They're not even getting younger. They bought out Oscar
I see zero
Lindblom.
direction.
They
Yeah.
bought out Oscar Lindblom, who's a young player that they didn't give any ice time to after literally the year before he got diagnosed with his illness and beat it and came back. But when he comes back, like, oh yeah, we're gonna sit you on the fourth line for the rest of your career. Have fun. Whereas before that happened, he was like one of those Renaissance guys that came out of nowhere. He was playing great, and then he comes back and his spot's gone, and they don't like him anymore. And it's just like, hey. Then they bring in Ryan Ellis, injury-prone defenseman. Guess what? Gets injured. They're like, okay, Rasmus Ristolainen for a first-round pick. Okay, re-sign him for a bunch of money. Okay, it's just there's just so much going on in Philly. I don't even understand. Maybe yeah, someone needs to pitch Amazon on doing a behind the scenes doc on this year's Philadelphia team. I mean, hey, yo, you know what? They bring in John Tortorella. Honestly, looking at Delorier, Braun, Ristolainen, the physicality of this team, honestly, even Ryan Ellis, the way he plays, this is definitely a Tortorella team. So maybe Chuck Fletcher just kind of has Tortorella in his ear telling him what to do. And maybe they'll be great. Who knows? Like Philly could go on a crazy run and finish second in the division, and I wouldn't be surprised. And they can also finish dead last.
I would be very surprised.
No, I would not be surprised if Philly does well, but I'd also not be surprised if they finish dead last. You know what I mean?
Why would you be surprised if they do well or won't be surprised?
Because it's just a Tortorella thing, man. He just comes in, makes the team really good for a few years, and then everyone gets sick of him.
You're right.
And then they get rid of him. Yeah, it's just a Tortorella effect, dude. And Chuck Fletcher's building a Tortorella team, so we'll see. I'm just saying, like Philly in the long run, good luck, because this is not. This is not it, man. You might have one or two.
I think.
Good years,
I don't know if we even have any more teams left. Besides, is Vancouver the last one?
We have to talk about Seattle, St. Louis, Vancouver, and Washington. We touched upon Washington pretty much. Kemper, the Connor Brown deal, and Dylan Strome. So not too much to mention in Washington. I like those moves for Washington. Some minor things, moving around certain players, just making sure they fill in the gap for Nick Backstrom being gone. I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. St. Louis then?
Yeah, so St. Louis signs Nick Leddy, 4 years, $4 million per. I am not a fan of that deal, to be honest with you. I think Nick Leddy's past his prime and didn't look that great in St. Louis in the playoffs. I wasn't a fan. So why they chose to do that? And then the Robert Thomas signing was huge. Ton of money to Robert Thomas, 8 years. I don't know the number, but it was high. It's a large number. So,
I'm fine with the Nick Leddy deal, to be honest, man. Like, he's 4x4 is what Gudbranson got. He's better than Gudbranson, even if he is past his prime.
Yes, but I don't want to use the Gudbranson deal as a comparison because that one is god awful.
Yeah, but like, I mean, their defense is gonna. I don't know. You're right. He wasn't like that good in the playoffs, but I can definitely see a bounce back for him.
It's possible.
31 isn't old, man. Like, he's gonna be. I think he'll be okay. You know, with that defensive core anyway, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Like, it's not great.
They still have Falk. They have Parayko. They have that young guy who came up at the end there.
They have Krug.
Yeah, they have Corey Krug.
Yeah,
it was 8 years, $65K for Robert Thomas, just over 8 per season.
Wait, what?
He meant 65
years.
He meant 65 mil. So, so that's just over 8 per season. That's 8.125 per season.
It's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of money, but I mean, he is 23. You know, you're paying him. He is a good player.
It's the Sergachev thing all over again. They're paying him for potential too.
Yeah, this one is definitely paid for the potential because, like,
same with Norris.
Norris was pretty I don't know. Norris scored 35 goals last year.
Well, look at Robert Thomas's numbers then.
Yeah, he scored 20. That's a big difference.
But how many assists did he have?
57. But Norris still had more points, didn't he?
I don't know, but I'm just saying. I'm
saying this one's way more for potential than.
Yeah, and he's also younger than Norris.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's fine. Like, I don't really know if St. Louis is gonna be good this year, but we'll see.
I mean, they're in the West, so they do have an advantage. To be
Yeah,
honest,
but like, do you think they're gonna trade Tarasenko? Because
no.
he hasn't retracted his trade offer or trade
They found
request.
a nice chemistry between Buchnevich,
Yeah,
Tarasenko, and what's his name down the middle, Barbashev.
yeah, but
That
like,
was a good line for them. And I don't
yeah.
see them moving on from that. Did they re-sign Brady
Well,
Shen or did he leave?
no, Shen's signed
He's
for a
still locked up,
while,
right?
but
It was
like
Perron they
Tarasenko
lost.
and O'Reilly are both UFAs after this year, so
I mean,
yeah,
O'Reilly, you're gonna overpay no matter what. I'm
yeah, he's
sorry,
gonna. I
he's
think O'Reilly will stay
the
there.
guy will not be able to skate in a few years.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
great player, physical. He knows his role. He's very smart. Shuts down anybody you want him to shut down. Wins faceoffs like it's literally wins faceoffs like he's a cheat code.
yeah,
But
man.
he's got the style, and I think he's had a few leg injuries. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong, but the way I see Ryan O'Reilly play, I think his skating is going to be one of his flaws. And in a game that's getting faster and faster, to me, if you sign
Hmm.
O'Reilly to his next contract on a long-term deal, you're going to be overpaying, and it's not going to last well.
Yeah, we'll see. I can see it. I
Uh,
mean, we've seen it before, so
yeah, it's like a David Backus thing all over again, just with a bit more pedigree. Seattle signs Andrei Burakovsky. I almost said Burakovsky. Maybe he's got nice calves. I don't know, but
sounded like he had a Boston accent there.
yeah, right. Burakovsky to a 5-year, $5.5 million per season contract. I like that deal. Burakovsky can score goals. They need goal scoring. He'll be basically the number one, like the
They need
number one
hella goal
guy.
scoring, man.
Well,
Yeah,
the way I see it is going to be him with Beniers and Wright. Like you got Jaden
yeah,
Schwartz
yeah.
there, you got
We'll
Eberle there. They
see.
can help you out too.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
Jared McCann, underrated. He could do some damage. He can do some damage too.
McCann can score like definitely 20, 25
Yeah.
goals
The,
for
the,
sure.
the way
So
I see it is Seattle's going to try to win by committee this year. So they got Beniers, Shane Wright, McCann, Eberle, Schwartz, Burakovsky, and there's someone else I'm forgetting. The guy they brought in from
Gord.
Yanni Gord, but also the young guy they brought in from Carolina, Morgan Geeky. So
Yeah.
they have, or was it? I think it was Connor Geeky. I'm not sure which one.
Morgan.
It's
Morgan. I think
Morgan,
Connor's
right?
the draft pick. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the rookie.
Yeah.
So like that's a decent forward core. Like that's not a super. No superstars in there, at least not yet. I see Beniers becoming one. I see Shane Wright obviously becoming at least an all-star. You know, at least like
Yeah.
a good stud there, and obviously Burakovsky's at least an all-star or fringe all-star. So they're getting there. Like, they're building a team up. They have a good balanced top nine. If they can get like one more guy for their top nine, that'd be a great top nine to me. Their defense needs some help. I don't like Adam Larson and Alexiak as some of your top defensemen. So if they can upgrade their blue line, Vince Dunn. Like if they can upgrade on Vince Dunn, upgrade on Larson, upgrade on. I know that's a lot of people to upgrade on, but if they can find a way to upgrade on a few defense, maybe yeah. Kev player brings up they need a right-handed defenseman as well. Like maybe call Montreal, say hey, we could use a Jeff Petrie. I know I keep throwing his name out there, but he's a good defenseman that teams should want. I don't know why they're not going after him. I know his age is a little scary, but this guy, honestly, watching Petrie's been better with age. It's really weird. It's like he's like a Benjamin Button of NHL defenseman. As he ages, he gets younger. It's like Bird. I can't even describe to you. It's so weird. And then to end off, it's your team. Ilya
Yeah,
Mikheyev.
I'm wearing the jersey. We got Mikheyev. It's a little bit of an overpay, but I mean, so if I was gonna rate the off season for them, I just say like it's hard to
C
say.
plus.
Like it's I
Like,
don't know, no. It's like in the C's because I know it's incomplete right now because we don't really know what we're gonna do with Miller.
yep.
I don't know if they're gonna sign him or they're gonna trade him, and that really shows like where the rest of this offseason is gonna go. But as of right now, like let's just say, like if they did come up with this lineup, I think they're freaking stacked, man. Like having 99-point Miller, I don't even if he's like an 80-point guy. I'm assuming Pedersen has a better year. He honestly was over a point per game the whole last half of the year.
Yep.
Signing Besser is good. You still have Horvat, so you have basically Pedersen, Besser, Horvat, Miller, Garland, Mikheyev, and then just for fun, you have Tanner Pearson, Vasily Podkolzin, Hoglander.
Yeah. Your forward core is not that bad. Just you need
Yeah,
some help on defense.
defense. Yeah, we'll see what they're gonna do.
Myers, Hughes.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with Myers.
I
Hughes
like
is your
Hughes,
best
but
guy. Yeah,
Myers. Yeah.
And then you got Demko signed for another 4 years. So I mean, that's
Great
great.
contract, too. Great
Yeah.
contract on Demko.
Yeah, so we'll see what they'll do. But like right now, it's hard to judge. I do like the signing of Mikheyev. It just probably just means someone's gonna get traded, and then I can properly judge how they're gonna, where they're gonna go about it.
I feel
I
like
don't
if
think.
you move Miller, you have to move him for some defensive help.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I think that's like the
Yeah.
main. That's what they're trying to do if they do it. But like I know they want to keep him because like he is like a 99-point guy, right? Or at least like last year.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even if he's a point per game guy, like that's still
Yeah.
like you don't want to get rid of that, right? So,
Yeah. The backup
but
goalie
we'll
for
see.
Vancouver is Spencer Martin, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good too. We'll see how he is. Like, but to be honest, Demko, I have him on like the other tier of goalies where you don't need. Like, he can play a lot of games, and he doesn't like. He's not. He's
Be
not necessarily like
careful.
a one. Yeah,
Be
he's not a
careful.
1A 1B goalie.
Don't do that though. Be careful because you might run into the Carey Price issue. Carey Price is the
Oh,
same
you
way.
could. Yeah, but
And
I
then you
mean
get
like.
one injury and it's game over. So just be careful with
Yeah,
that.
no, I was just saying like as in like they can definitely like manage his games for sure, but you know how there's more goalies like we're talking about like Campbell and like Murray where it's like more of a
Yeah.
tandem. You know, I
You
don't I
don't
don't
see the
have them there.
Vasilevsky and the Demkos anymore as much.
Yeah, yeah. I have like I had Vasilevsky's in a higher tier. I think Shesterkin's up there as well. But like now you have like Saros, Demko, Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, a couple other guys you can kind of throw on that list where you can just say they're really just like the number one guy. Like you do need a good backup, but
Yeah.
they're more of like the brunt of like what you're gonna play.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, like teams that need backup goalies, I'd be calling on Jake Allen because decent cap hit. He could be a starter if your goalie goes down. He's proven it already in St. Louis, proved it in Montreal. So I mean, if you're Vancouver and you have cap space at the deadline, maybe give a call to and let's say Demko gets injured, I'd be calling right away on Jake Allen. To me, that'd be a move I'd like for Vancouver.
Yeah. We'll see how Martin does though. Like he was really
fine.
good when he played.
Yeah,
So yeah.
But like if Demko gets injured, you'll need someone else. I see Kev quoting the Steve Dangle podcast where they said they're one injury away from going for Bedard. So it's like they have Demko and they can go for the playoffs, and then it's a one injury away from Bedard. I saw them say that too. So I like that. I like that. Kev players listening on the Steve Dangle podcast. They're good. I like their podcast a lot. I've been following Steve Dangle for a while now. Okay. That's going to do it for today's episode of the podcast. I'll end it off with the last joke on the third. So, okay. If you're wondering, no, I didn't come up with these jokes. And you've probably heard them before, to be honest with you. And that's why they're so cringe. It's just, I have this, it's like it's not a national sticker day. It's this calendar I got from a dollar store. It's just basically each day has a different joke. And so I've just never used it. So I'm going to start using it on stream. The last one says, don't buy anything made with Velcro. It's a total ripoff. Wow. I just died inside. Man. So if you unfollowed and unsubscribed and hit dislike, I completely understand. But if you want to hear more of these, I'll be doing this more often if you guys like it. So if you want to hear the cringy joke of the day, just let us know, and I can get one right away. It's literally in front of me on my desk. I have one for every day of the year except for 12 days that have already been done. So well over 350 jokes here. So let me know, guys. Let me know if you're enjoying them or not. I can go through quite a lot of them pretty quickly. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. We appreciate you all for hanging out today. An hour and a half on the stream, but for those of you listening after the fact, this is probably about 45 minutes as well. We appreciate your support. As always, if you have any questions, any subjects we didn't address yet today, we'll be definitely addressing the Kadri situation as it unfolds. But if you have anything we missed that you want us to cover in the next episode of the podcast, let us know in the comment section on YouTube. Send us a DM on Instagram. Send us a message on Twitch. Not on Twitch, but you could DM us on Twitch as well, but on Twitter, and we'll definitely get to it. Follow us at The Fan Connection on all platforms. You can find Berdaman, BERDAMAN on Twitch. You can find me, Some Lazy Guy 09 on Twitch. I usually host a podcast on my channel, so if you want to tune in live, check it out there. We'll see you in the next one, and yeah, good luck to Kadri. Hope you sign a nice chunk of money, my friend.